into fan free agency. I don't have a better sounder for that. Does that work?
Yeah.
I guess the Mavericks staff, the front office, the people in the ticket office, they would hate to hear that the Mavericks fans are entering fan free agency. But that's exactly what it is tonight. And I'm not saying you have to depart. I'm saying you are now a free agent, just like in the NFL, just like in your favorite sport. When you become a free agent, you can always come back home. And I am an expert when it comes to fan free agency because I infamously did it about 4 years ago on these radio airwaves on ESPN 106.3 when I left the Carolina Panthers for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I get a lot of hell for it, but at the end of the day, I'm a lot happier on Sundays. And I appreciate that fact. Plus, from Kansas, so I have the birthrights. C-Cat, when I got into this, when I looked at what the Mavericks are faced with, as you get the Nico Harrison, general manager of the Mavericks, having the private meeting with select media members where he gave a tell-all. But wait, no recordings and no video and no live tweeting. But I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about why we did this trade. You know what came out of that, C-Cat?
What's that?
First of all, he doesn't regret trading Luka. Secondly, he kept on apparently reiterating the phrase defense wins championships. He was like stuck in some kind of cliche loop doing coach speak. And yes, defense does win championships. You know what also wins titles? Generational superstars in their prime.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So Nico Harrison failing to feel the pulse of that franchise. And then also the other main point that came out of the meeting with the media is Nico saying, and I want to pull this quote up verbatim. Because this is what has a lot of Mavericks fans up in arms.
And there's no audio proof because no recordings were allowed. It's only word of mouth and print journalism that we have to rely on.
He said, again, to the media, some of these decisions are going to be unpopular, maybe to Dirk Nowitzki and maybe to fans, but my obligation is to the Dallas Mavericks. So Nico put a clear line of delineation between the organization that is the Dallas Mavericks and not just the greatest Maverick of all time who has the only statue outside of your arena in Dirk Nowitzki, who, by the way, has only attended 2 games in person this NBA season. It was Luka's debut at Staples, or whatever the hell they're calling it in LA these days, and it was Luka's return to Dallas. The only 2 games that Dirk attended, and he has put out there clearly where his allegiance lies, and it's not with the Mavericks, and it is with Luka. That should tell you everything you need to know about how unfavorable the Mavericks look in the face of their fan base. Also, reiterating this statement, again, from the mouth of the general manager of the Mavericks that made maybe the most unpopular trade in the history of sports, Nico Harrison. Some of these decisions are going to be unpopular, maybe to Dirk and maybe to the fans, but my obligation is to the Dallas Mavericks. C-Cat, I am one of the main voices that gets on here and probably says things that is antagonistic toward fanatics, antagonistic towards fans, and you've ridiculed me for this in the past.
Yeah, you can't put yourself in the brain of a fan, which is rooting for your team no matter what.
Yeah.
Like not being level-headed, not looking at both sides and gathering all the facts and information to make an educated viewpoint. No, I'm a Yankees fan. I'll don the pinstripes and I'll root for the Yankees. I don't look at what's happening in the AL Central as much because that doesn't pertain to me.
So here's the issue. When the general manager of your team admits that he does not have an obligation to the fans, and he is saying this on behalf of the new ownership of the Mavericks, I'm sorry. But these are parting words, I do believe. The Mavericks have drawn a clear line in the sand between its fan base and its franchise, and they did it through general manager Nico Harrison. When I say that this is the opening of fan free agency for the Dallas Mavericks, I'm not just saying this as a person who believed this to be the case the moment I saw Luka got traded against the will of the fan base in the middle of the night under the cloak of not speaking to any other franchises so the leaks wouldn't get out there so they wouldn't protest it. I'm saying this because now Nico Harrison, 2 months removed, with more details and more data points and with the reaction of the fans, is doubling down on that sentiment. The Dallas Mavericks do not care about their fans. They don't care. And if you are a fan of the Dallas Mavericks, I'm not saying that you have to quit rooting for the team that you grew up on. Maybe quit for your hometown heroes. But I will say, Dirk has drawn a line in the sand, and it's not standing on the side of the Mavericks. Luka Doncic, you can clearly see how he feels about that organization based on how he acted around his return. And Nico Harrison, general manager of the Mavericks, just told you don't matter. So what I'm telling you is, it's time to celebrate. Your NBA fan free agency opens up today, and who better to get some advice from than the man himself, Theo Dorsey, who made one of the wisest free agency moves in the history of fan free agency. We saw Michelle Smallman try to repeat the greatness that I did, and Michelle Smallman from Unsportsmanlike 6 to 10 a.m. here on ESPN 106.3, she went from Rams to no team. This past offseason, she hopped on board with the Green Bay Packers. How'd that work out for her, CK?
Pretty good.
Not that good, actually.
What I mean,
absolutely not.
Playoff berth?
Yeah. They did a playoff berth before she got there. In fact, they did better before she got there. They won a game in the playoffs.
Theo, if I can...
Theo Dorsey right here, before you interrupt, we're here with Theoretically Speaking. When I went from Panthers to the Chiefs, 3 straight Super Bowl berths, 2 Super Bowl championships, and the going is still good out there with the Hunt family. That's good ownership right there. Tepper, screw him. I'm with the Hunts now. I'm telling you as a Mavericks fan, you don't have to make the full jump, but you do get to make yourself available following tonight's loss to the Sacramento Kings, following the Mavericks getting eliminated from the postseason in totality. The door is open for Mavericks fans to start their free agency, and I am proud to help you. I have a list of 5 NBA teams that you can be favorable towards going to, the potential destination. Okay, CK, what you got?
So you took the JBL Bluetooth speaker and you turned it on and you played the Celebrate Good Times music.
Yes.
But I'm going to take that speaker, I'm going to dial it back a little bit because this kind of reminds me of like those now popular divorce parties that women will have after finalizing a divorce.
Yeah, men do it sometimes too.
I guess I haven't been on that side of the coin. For some reason, I've only caught on to the female versions of it.
Guys don't throw a party. They go golfing or something or take a trip or something here and there. But yeah, continue.
But it feels a little sad. Like, this is not a great thing. I don't want to celebrate having to find a new NBA team to root for because my team cheated on me. And this sucks. And I feel like we're kind of putting on a brave face. And I don't want to listen to music. The music does not make me feel good.
Okay. And this is exactly why I'm here, C-Cat. It's all about perspective. That's what life is about. You didn't go through the stages of grief that the Mavericks fans have gone through over the past 2 months. You don't know what it feels like for your franchise to ultimately turn on you and draw the line in the sand and say they hate you. Why should they be sad today when they got the text from their husband or wife or significant other that says, not only am I good on you, I've actually found a new love elsewhere. And not only did I find a new love elsewhere, I also do not dictate my future or any decisions I make based on your comfortability or what would be pleasing to you.
Because I named my firstborn son Dirk. I named my secondborn son Maverick.
Yeah.
And I have a re-up of my season tickets that I signed up for 3 months ago.
Your kids are forever, right? Dirk is forever in your heart. The history that you have with the Mavericks is still entrenched in you and in your soul. You now move on. You can still recall 2011, and you can still tell those tales with your buddies of where you were when you saw the Heat get taken down by your mighty Mavericks, and Tyson Chandler and Jason Terry was locking up the LeBron James, JJ Barea, all of that stuff.
I was going to say, I have a calf tattoo of JJ Barea locking up LeBron James.
That still happened. Just like Reggie Bush's Heisman before they gave it back, it still happened. You still have those memories, but now you get to celebrate freedom. The divorce parties are not about celebrating the ending of a relationship. It is about the other side of that. It is the freedom and the liberty that comes with closing the door on a bad future. You want them to stay in this toxic relationship? CK, hold on a second. Pump the music down. Pump the music down. Before I give my 5 potential destinations for the Mavericks, CCAT, for the Mavericks fans out there, and by the way, we have a few of them that are devout fans of Theoretically Speaking. Are you telling me you would prefer them to stay in a toxic relationship that is bad for their health?
You signed an unwritten contract. It's not in print anywhere.
Apparently not, though.
But it's the man upstairs that you would be a Dallas Mavericks fan to thick and thin.
Nope.
Through times of sickness and in health.
It's a different team now.
And you have to stick around with them. You have to trust that the correct decisions will be made from here on out. Because you got to trust that